Good evening, visitors. Welcome to the Australian War Memorial's Last Post ceremony. My name is Kylie Campbell, and joining us today from the Royal Australian Navy is Rear Admiral James Lybrand. This evening, we are honoured to acknowledge Mr. Tom Bell, Chief Executive Officer of Leidos Global, and Mr. Garth Callender, Chief Executive Officer of Bravery Trust and their accompanying delegation. Lieutenant General Paul T. Stanton, Director Defence Information Systems Agency and Commander of the Department of Defence, Cyber Defence Command, United States of America, accompanied by Major General Warren Gould, Head of Cyber Operations Division, and their accompanying delegation. We warmly welcome Department of Defence members from across the Five Eye community. We welcome the veterans who have served, those that are still serving, and the families that love and support them. The live stream of this ceremony is made possible by the Returned and Services League of Australia and the RSL and Services Clubs Association. We welcome the members who are watching the broadcast of this ceremony across Australia. During this evening's ceremony, wreaths will be laid at the base of the pool of reflection by visitors to the memorial. If you are able, please stand and join in singing the national anthem.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is got by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Those that are able, please be seated. The Australian War Memorial was a vision of Charles Bean, Australia's First World War official historian. Bean landed with the Australian troops on Gallipoli and stayed with them at the front through to the end of the war. The idea of this national memorial and museum came to him at Pozières, France, in the depths of the bloody fighting of 1916. Bean's idea was that this would be a place where families and friends could mourn loved ones buried in faraway places. It would also be a place that could help all Australians understand what these men and women had endured and what they had done for us. Bean's vision, to which we remain true, is best expressed as inscribed to the entrance to the memorial's galleries. Here is their spirit and the heart of the land they loved, and here we guard the record which they themselves made. Tonight, we will read the story behind just one of those on the Roll of Honour, which lists the names of more than 103,000 men and women who have given their lives for us in war and on operations for more than a century. But first, we present a lament, Flowers of the Forest. Wreaths or floral tributes will now be laid at the base of a pool of reflection.
Today we remember and pay tribute to Private Robert Eric Penty. Robert Penty was born on the 4th of February 1890 in Swansea, Tasmania. He was one of 6 children born to the Reverend Robert Penty Sr. and his wife Charlotte. Young Robert received his education at Leslie House School in Hobart, where he was an active member of the Senior Cadets program. On completion of his schooling, he relocated to New South Wales with his family and settled in the seaside community of Bondi. He enrolled at the University of Sydney and began studying law. He was working as an articled clerk when the First World War broke out in August 1914. Robert Penty enlisted in the Australian Imperial Force on the 9th of July 1915. He was assigned to the reinforcement of the 18th Infantry Battalion with the rank of private and commenced a short period of training in Australia. He embarked for active service on the 20th of December that year, sailing from Sydney in the troop ship Aeneas. After several weeks at sea, Private Penty arrived in Egypt, where he continued training alongside a mix of new recruits and veterans from the recently abandoned Gallipoli campaign. Soon after his arrival, however, Penty became ill and was sent to hospital suffering from pneumonia. He did not return to his unit until March 1916, at which point it embarked for the Western Front. After a week-long voyage, the men arrived in the French city of Marseille. From there, they were immediately sent north to the Franco-Belgian border, where they alternated between training and periods of duty on the front lines. In July, the 18th Battalion was sent south to the Somme Valley to take part in the advance on German positions around the French village of Pozières. They entered the front lines on the 25th of July 1916 in the hopes of attacking German positions on the Pozières Ridge. From the moment they entered the front lines, however, Penty and his comrades came under heavy shell fire from enemy positions. This made troop movements and reconnaissance of the enemy's position almost impossible. One of Penty's comrades described the fighting at Pozières thus: "Imagine men dug in a few feet into the ground and shells falling like rain. Trenches blown up and men digging for dear life to rebuild them, or rescuing their comrades who were buried, and in most cases the rescuers were also buried by the shells. When entering the trenches, we were bombarded with tear gas shells, which made us wear our gas helmets. It is almost impossible to see and hard to breathe." Having already suffered many casualties as a result of the relentless barrage, Penty and his comrades were ordered to begin constructing a strong point in no man's land. As they did so, they continued to be subject to intense shelling, and Private Robert Penty was killed in action. His final resting place was never found. Today he is commemorated amongst the missing at the Australian National Memorial at Villiers-Bretonneux. Robert Penty was 26 years old. His name is listed on the Roll of Honour on my right amongst 62,000 Australians who died while serving in the First World War, and his photograph is displayed today beside the pool of reflection. This is but one of the many stories of service and sacrifice told here at the Australian War Memorial. We will now remember Private Robert Eric Penty, who gave his life for us, for our freedoms, in the hope of a better world.
Please stand for the reading of the Ode and the sounding of the last post.
They shall groan at old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will remember them. lest we forget.
We leave you this evening with the words of the memorial's founder, Charles Bean. Many a man lying out there at Poziere or in the low scrub at Gallipoli with his poor, tired senses barely working through the fever of his brain has thought in his last moments, well, it's over. But in Australia, they will be proud of this. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the last post ceremony. On behalf of the director, staff and volunteers, thank you for visiting the Australian War Memorial today. We wish you all a very pleasant evening.